I spent the first 69 years of my life worrying about so many things that I thought were important to me, but they were important to me in my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s. Not anymore. Today, I'm going to share with you some things that I completely have changed and I don't care about, and it's given me such relief that I can live my life the way I want to live it under my terms and my conditions. I remember clearly for I don't know, 30 years at work, I was obsessed with growing my business, looking really great, going to the gym so I could be seen at the gym, going to all the networking functions, making sure I had the right kind of clothes on, making sure I was hanging out with the right kind of people, making sure I was doing all the right things to really build my career. And I did those right things during my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s. And now at 69, almost 70, I'm going to share with you today things that I have gotten rid of that just don't matter anymore. The first one I want to talk about is I don't care anymore about my old job, my old career, the titles, my accomplishments, the awards, and all of that. They just don't matter anymore. They mattered for probably 5 years after I retired. I talked a lot about that. I had a successful career. I built a business with my brother Chuck, who unfortunately has passed, and now we can't retire together. But gosh, the stories that I used to tell about the success that I had and the people that I knew and the clothes that I wore and the networking I did and the who's who of Westchester County, New York, I don't care about that anymore. And when I say don't care about it, it made me, all those experiences and all those relationships made me who I am today. That I give a lot of credit to. And I'm grateful for all of those people, the men and women that I met that helped turn me into who I am today. But I don't care anymore about clinging on to those stories, those titles, even many of those relationships. There isn't enough capacity in my life right now with all that I have going on with my family and friends and this business to really keep that a huge part. I have brought along with me probably a half dozen critical relationships that I still am in contact with. But those relationships, I believe, are still working really well because we have evolved. We don't really talk about the old days. We talk about who we are today. We talk about some of the things that we're doing today. So all of that old history just isn't really important to me anymore because I've reinvented myself. I'm in the discovery years. I'm redesigning my life. That was all of that in my mind was preparation for me to get to where I am now, to actually do something really important with my life, to work on my legacy, to work on new relationships, to work on making a difference in the world. I didn't really make a difference in the world as an insurance agent selling insurance. I made a difference in the people around me. I had good client relationships, but right now I don't care about that anymore at the age of 69 because I'm creating all new experiences, all new relationships, and a new career. So for me, I'm finished with that. And I think you should think about that too. If you end up hanging on to that, which is what my father did, he spent the last 15 years of his life talking about what he used to do, who he used to be, who he used to know. And that really, I don't think, is a good way to go through this stage of life. The second thing that I don't care about anymore is I don't need daily approval for the things that I do on a daily basis from the people that I know. The saying is when you hit retirement, it's wonderful because you can do what you want to do, when you want to do it, who you want to do it with, and how you want to do it. But if you're buying into that, but you're also always looking for approval from others and a pat on the back and accolades, it just doesn't work. I do what I want to do because I want to do it. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm not out to destroy anybody, but I don't need a pat on the back for the things that I do. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm 69 years old. I don't need any more assurances that what I'm doing makes sense. I trust myself. I'm really smart. I have a lot of experience. Now, to an outsider, they might think I'm a knucklehead, but that's okay. If I look like a knucklehead to you today, that's fine. Leave a comment and say, hey, Mark, you're the biggest knucklehead I ever met. It's not that I don't care, but I really don't care. I'm doing what I think makes sense for my life. I'm doing what makes sense for my relationship with Jody. I'm doing what I think makes sense for my relationship with my 6 children. I'm doing what makes sense for the relationships that I've nurtured over the years here on Marco Island, all new people that I've met. And I'm really picky who I hang out with now. I think that's another thing that I talk about. But I really don't care anymore about getting accolades or approval from people for some of the things that I'm doing today in my life. I'm here. I've arrived. I'm pretty good. I'm all set. I'm confident. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I do a lot of things to make my life better and the life of people around me, and you don't have to agree with me. So I think that's something for you guys to think about too, or you women, that do you really need to continue to get the kind of approval that you used to get during your whole career or earlier in your life? I mean, I'm 69 years old. I'm good. I'm going to live another, 30 years, 40 years. I'm good. So think about that yourself. By the way, in the notes below, there's a download, 6 steps to jumpstart your retirement transformation today. If you've not seen that before, download it now. You're really going to love that document to help you move forward in this phase of life and give yourself a little bit of a kickstart. All right, the third thing that I don't care about anymore is I don't care how I look. And when I say that, I used to shave every single morning. I used to put on a suit. I used to put on a tie. I used to have my hair perfect. I used to have shiny shoes. I used to dress up on weekends. I'm playing golf. I had all the latest golf clothes and all of that. I honestly don't care anymore. Now, today, I have a nice shirt on because I want to look presentable. I don't mind walking around like this. But when you see me at 4:45 in the morning at the gym, I got bedhead. I'm scruffy. I'll go 3 or 4 days without shaving. I shaved this morning because I'm doing video. Listen, if you guys want to see me do a video all scruffy, leave comments below and I'll do a scruffy video. But I don't care. When I get to the gym, I don't have to look perfect. I don't have to comb my hair. I do brush my teeth. But I really don't care what people think, how I look. I don't have to wear the best clothes anymore. Now, when I go out to dinner with Jody, I'll dress up. I'll put a shirt on like this and a pair of slacks, nice pair of shoes. But I wear a lot of sneakers now, on clouds. I wear them at night. I wear on clouds probably 85% of the time. I don't own a pair of lace-up shoes anymore. So at 69 years old, I said, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I think that for the amount of time that we have left on this planet at the age of 69, it really shouldn't matter how we look on a daily basis. I don't mind walking around with 3 days of unshaven beard. I don't really have to comb my hair when I go out. I can put a hat on. I mean, I never used to wear a hat when I was working. Everything was just perfect. It feels good to kind of let it go. Get up, put some clothes on that are comfortable, put some shoes on that are comfortable. Make yourself look presentable, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So think about that for yourself too. The fourth thing that I don't care about anymore at the age of 69, everyone I meet, I don't have to make them a friend. In my career when I was selling insurance, honestly, whether this is right or wrong or good or bad, everybody I met was a prospect. I can insure their home, their car, their business, their friends. So everybody to me, I needed to be friendly with everybody because there was a potential that I could help them out with their insurance. And that's the God's honest truth. So there are some friends that I made during my career that were a little bit fabricated. I'm a very personable guy, and I'm a good person to have as a friend. I know that. But I don't have enough room in my life now at the age of 69 to keep all those relationships alive and to also create friends out of every person that I meet. I'm very particular now about who I bring in to my circle as a friend. I have thousands of acquaintances, thousands. You probably do too. These are people that you see twice a year, once a year. You see them wherever you see them, in the grocery store, and they're acquaintances, but they're not friends. For me, my friend group today, my friends that I look for, I'll give you an example this morning at the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym. I fought going to the gym. I almost turned around on the way to the gym, but I went to the gym. And it's 4:45. I know all the people in the gym. We've known each other for years going out. So they're all pretty good. They're good gym friends. They're my gym family at 5 a.m. But there was a new guy there. And we live in Marco Island, Florida, so new people are coming down on vacation all the time. So at the point where you pick a partner, today was a partner workout, I looked at him and said, hey, you want to work out? Sure. My name's Chris. My name's Mark. And we chatted. We chatted for 45 minutes. At the end, we actually sat down. We knew a lot about each other's life. I told him about my son, Markham, and his battle with stage 4 colorectal cancer, and, about our family and my first marriage, and married to Jody now 18 years. And he told me about his marriage and about his kids, and his parents have a house on Marco. So in 45 minutes, we really opened up a lot about each other. We were honest, we were vulnerable, we were compassionate, we were good listeners. And then at the end, he said, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. He said, can you tell me what went wrong in your first marriage? And I looked at him and I thought, oh my gosh, this guy has opened the door to a relationship that's the kind of relationship that I love, where I can be vulnerable, I can be honest, I can share really personal information, and I know he's going to keep it. He's not going to try to fix me. He's just going to listen. And he's 41 years old, same age as my oldest son, Markham. So I told him the story about what happened, and we got therapy and all of that. But I'm thinking now maybe he's got something rattling around in his head, that he has a bit of a problem or something he needs to talk about. These are the kind of friends I want now. I don't need to talk about sports. I don't need to talk about fishing. I don't need to talk about golf. I've done that. I'm now at 69, 70 years old, looking for people like Chris, 41, 31, 79. I've done a video on my friend Lou, who's 91 now. I need people in my life that I can communicate with, I can listen to them, they can listen to me, and we can create an atmosphere of sharing and giving and compassion and vulnerability. That's really important to me. So I don't need everyone to be my friend. So that's what I wanted to get across today. I hope that makes sense to you. The fifth thing that I don't care about anymore at the age of 69 is explaining to everyone about the choices that I make. The choices that I make about not drinking, the choice that I make about getting up at 3:30 in the morning, the choice that I make about when I go on vacation, the choices that I make about what I eat in a restaurant. It used to be that, I really relied upon other people to help me and counsel me and give me suggestions. But again, at 69 years old, I really feel like I figured a lot of things out. I'm definitely open to learning and growing and reading books and finding out how to be a better husband, a better father, a better brother, a better friend. But I don't spend any time anymore explaining to people why I do what I do. I choose to eat the way I eat because it's good for me. I choose to go to bed at 8:30 at night because I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I don't have to explain it. People look at me like, you're crazy. Why don't you try to sleep till 7? Okay, so I'll spend a few minutes chatting about it. I can't sleep till 7. I can only sleep till 3:30. Call it a curse, call it a gift, whatever. From 3:30 to 4:45 is my time. I get to drink my 12 ounces of water. I get to read scripture. I get to open the Bible and read a little more if I feel like it. I get to catch up on the news. I get to journal. I write down my 3 gratitudes. I write down 3 things I'm looking forward to getting done today. I write down the 5 things that are most important for me to accomplish today. that will help me move my life forward and the life of other people. So I do that from 3:30 to 4:45. That's an hour and 15 minutes of my alone time. You don't have to do that. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to even copy me. But I will tell you a version of that, a morning ritual, whether you start at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 3 o'clock in the morning. The thing is this. I do it because it works for me. It makes me feel better. It makes me happier. It makes me closer to Jody. It makes me closer to my kids. So I can explain it for a second, but if you don't understand it, that's fine. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to have to feel the obligation to over-explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm almost 70 years old. It's kind of like you've reached that milestone. It's not like, give me a break, but give me a break. I got to figure it out. Now, my father, on the other hand, he drank himself to death. So he couldn't explain it. It was a disease. He was an alcoholic, and it was very sad. But I also left him alone. I loved him. I nurtured him. I cared for him. But he was making a daily mistake. I didn't ask him to explain it to me. He was 65 when he retired. He was 80 when he died. And he deserved, in my mind, the right to make those kind of choices. So I think we all, at the age of 55 or 60 or whatever, have to start thinking about what is most important for us. And I hope that these 5 things that I don't care about anymore resonated with you, and maybe you can bring some of them into your life as well. All right, here's a couple questions my team put together that I'm going to answer. If you have any questions for Jody or me, please put them in the comments, and we'd love to answer them for you. So here's a question from Kiki and Jeffrey Pearl. Mark, regarding high blood pressure and high cholesterol, have you tried plant-based eating? When I dropped dairy, lots cleared, no animal meat stats, went to rock star status. All right, I have not tried plant-based, but what I will tell you that I've done, which has been a big change, probably the biggest change for me was no fast food. So I grew up on Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's and deli meat and sandwiches. I don't eat any of that anymore. So when Jody and I go food shopping, we shop on the outer circle of the grocery store. That's where everything that is fresh, the vegetables first, then some protein. Really, vegetable and protein is what we do. So most of our shopping is in the vegetable department. Then we get protein, fish, beef, pork, chicken, whatever it might be. We stay away from anything canned, anything that has anything on the label that we don't understand. I don't think I'm a good candidate for plant-based, but we do eat a lot of plant-based foods that get protein, like beans and things like that. But I appreciate the question and the suggestion. So here's a question from Daisy Flores. How you give up on alcohol? ? I don't go out much, but if I go to a restaurant, I need my mojito. So I don't drink anymore. I haven't had a drink for, 2 or 3 years, I suppose. It's just not something that works for me anymore. I did a lot of drinking. I started drinking at the age of 14, Budweiser's. My dad encouraged it. My brother and I were always drinking on weekends. We were drinking well before the drinking age back then was 18. So I would be in bars at the age of 16, and the bartender would still serve us. I'd been there, done that, did the whole wine thing, vodka, gin. I don't drink anymore. And you know what? I feel so much better. That's why I do it. Haven't had a hangover in 2 years. I'm never groggy in the morning. I don't miss it at all. So I feel like I'm blessed that I'm able to be that way. It's up to you. I mean, if you want to have a mojito once a week or twice a week and that works for you, that's great. I think it's a personal call. It's, again, another one of those things that I don't feel like I need to explain it. I'll share with you why I do it and how it makes me feel, but it's up to you really to decide what works for you. All right, here's a question from Charles Pigneri. On the video, don't retire until you hit these 7 milestones. I'm not sure what they are, but he said that we have 3 or 4 of these nailed. My wife's biggest fear is moving away from the grandkids. That's her purpose, and I get that. I would like to move to a low-tax state in warmer weather, like we did in Florida. How did you guys deal with separation anxiety relative to your grandkids, if that's a thing? Well, it is and it isn't. One of my sons, the only one of the six of our kids that has children, is Jonathan, and he lives in Monterey, California, and we live here in Florida. So he moved away before he even had children. So it wasn't like we moved from them. So we're used to not living with them, but we stay very connected to those two children. We see them at least twice a year, maybe three times. And typically it's a family vacation, or they'll come visit us in the summer for 2 weeks, or they'll come to Florida for a week or two. So I would say we get the kids four to 5 weeks a year spread out over 2 or 3 different times together. Would I wish and would I love if they lived around the corner? 100%. But I think that there's a lot more to life than, for us, than just the kids. We have a lot of other things going on in our life. And I will say that our 3 daughters are getting married this year, and they all want to have children. So I think maybe this might change for Jody and I. As we get more kids, we may have to travel more to see them. But it's just, I know so many people that don't leave where they grew up because their kids are there and their grandkids. And it's a personal choice. It's just something that you and your wife need to find a way to be comfortable with. And again, it's a personal choice. Hope you enjoyed this video. This next one, the first year of retirement almost broke us. What we wish we knew now back then. Watch this video next. I think you'll really enjoy it.